Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the DILIP BUILDCon Limited Q2 FY21 earnings conference call hosted by Axis Capital Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Jiten Rushi from Axis Capital Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Faizan. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Axis Capital, we welcome you into Q2 FY21 earnings call of DILIP BUILDCon. Today, from the management, we have Mr. Devendra Jain, Executive Director and CEO, Mr. Rohan Suryavanshi, Head, Strategy and Planning, and Mr. Radheshyam Garg, Chief Financial Officer. We also have from Accenture IR, Mr. Ronak Saraf. We thank the management for giving us the opportunity to host the call. We will begin with opening remarks from the management, followed by question and answer session. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jitenji. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I hope all of you are keeping safe and sound in these tough and extraordinary times. So first of all, I, along with the whole DBL family, would like to welcome all our investors and partners to this conference call for the quarter and half year ending 30th September 2020. It is my great pleasure, as always, and honor to be able to host this call and update all our partners of the important milestones we have achieved this quarter and our plans for the year going forward. So the way that we structure this call is that I'll give you my opening remarks on the industry and the company, while our CFO, Mr. Garg, will then take you through the financials. We've also put up a very nice presentation, as always, and I hope you had a chance to look at it, because it outlines very, in great detail all the numbers and facts and figures. Now, as we are all aware that the early few months of this year have been unprecedented for the entire global economy due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But even in these COVID-induced challenges and lockdown, it's heartening to see that the government of India has shown tremendous proactiveness and growth in infrastructure spend and project awarding. The highway authorities have awarded 5,052 kilometers in the first half of this financial year, compared to 2,103 kilometers in the first half of last financial year, which is a jump of 140%. Now, in this awarding, NHAI has awarded 40 projects totaling 1,330 kilometers with a capital cost of 47,289 crores in this first half of the current financial year, compared to 828 kilometers in the first half of last financial year and 373 kilometers in the first half of financial year 19. So you can see there has been a big jump in the last 2 years in terms of pure awarding. Now, of these 40 projects awarded till September, 24 were awarded through EPC mode, and the remaining were awarded on the HAM mode. It is also very heartening to see that NHAI has set a target of awarding 4,500 kilometers of projects for this whole financial year. Now, while the awarding activity has been robust, the road construction obviously, however, has lagged in this current financial year compared to the last few years, which is primarily due to the COVID-induced lockdown and the early and extended monsoon that we've seen. The highway construction of 3,951 kilometers in the first half of the fiscal was 15% lower than the 4,622 kilometers constructed in the first half of last financial year. The national highway construction in the first half of the current fiscal has fallen to its lowest in the last 3 years, but it was still a decent 22 kilometers per day compared to 25 kilometers per day of last financial year and 24 kilometers per day in the financial year 19. Also, it is important to note that in this entire financial year, MoRTH has set a construction target of 10,250 kilometers. Now, while these targets have been set, the reasons which impacted the construction till now, let me elaborate on that a little bit. COVID and the monsoon. See, the lockdown brought all construction activities to an abrupt halt. So the construction pace in April was the lowest, but
This is the operator, so we are not able to hear you. This is the operator, so we are not able to.
आपण ज्या व्यक्तीसोबत बोलत आहात होल्डवर ठेवला आहे.
Ladies and gentlemen, please hold the line. We are checking the line for the management. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently waiting. The line for the management is reconnected. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
I apologize for the technical difficulty. So I don't know, for some reason the call dropped. Sorry. So coming back to where we were, I was saying that the lockdown had brought all construction activities to an abrupt halt, and so obviously construction in April, the pace of construction in April was the lowest, but it has since then picked up. While as it was picking up, the companies were hit with the challenge of labor unavailability, and as that was getting a little bit sorted out, early monsoon hit us. So obviously this year there has been series of challenges that companies across have faced. Now in this year the nation also faced the situation of prolonged monsoon like last year. The monsoon for current year is the third highest in last 30 years, which obviously made construction difficult. In this process, also 2019 and 2020 have also become 2 consecutive years of above normal rainfall, which has happened after 60 years. The last time it happened was in 1958 and 59. So obviously, with such consecutive rainfalls and excessive rainfalls in 2 years, we've had very adverse conditions for this sector. But however, to soften all these impacts, our government came out with a host of measures. What was notable that the governments around the world unanimously agreed that the only way to recover from the damage of the COVID pandemic was to infuse liquidity into the economy. Our government has also, on its part, played on the front foot in trying to revive the economy by implementing various measures and pushing the infrastructure sector. They came up with initiatives in various forms, such as giving term loan repayment moratorium for 6 months, reducing repo rate in order to ease low-cost finance, deploying dedicated lines of COVID-19 loans, releasing retention bank guarantees, and extending time for infrastructure projects, amongst other measures. Also, earlier this last month, the Government of India has come up with a third stimulus package. The Honorable Finance Minister had announced the additional spending of rupees 37,000 crores over and above the rupees 4.13 lakh crore capex plan approved by the government in the budget 2021. Now, out of the 37,000 crores, 25,000 crores has been earmarked as capex on roads, defense, water supply, urban development, and domestically produced capital equipment. And besides this, the central government has approved issuance of a special interest-free 50-year loan to states of rupees 12,000 crore for infrastructure development. It is also very heartening to see that the government has hinted that the budget 21-22 will be majorly focused on boosting infrastructure sector. So we can only hope, along with all the other measures that the government has taken in the past and the documents that they've brought out in terms of the national infrastructure pipeline, that the government is really focused on the infrastructure going forward. Now, if I talk about our company specifically, let me start by how the order book is looking. I'm pleased to inform all our partners that we have one project worth 1,36,083 million till date in FY21 in various sectors such as road, special bridges, tunnel, and irrigation. We have been constantly increasing diversification over the last few years, and it is eminent from our order book, where roads used to be 90% of our order book almost 4 years back, to now it's come to 50% roads. The rest is split with irrigation, which is 20%, mining, which is 12%, special bridges, which is 9%, tunnel 5%, airports 2%, and metro 1%. Now, besides the order that we've already won till now, the company is targeting new orders of at least 30.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are checking the line for the management. Please hold.
आपण ज्या व्यक्तीसोबत बोलत आहात त्या व्यक्तीने आपला कॉल होल्डवर ठेवला आहे. कृपया लाईनवर राहा. The person you are speaking with has
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently waiting. The line for the management is reconnected. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
I'm sorry again, I don't know why we're facing technical difficulties. Sorry, coming back to my presentation. See, besides the order that we've already won till now, the company is targeting new orders of at least 30,000 to 40,000 million in the remaining part of FY21 across various sectors. And we are confident that we will have a very robust and diverse order book by the end of the financial year, which will give us great visibility till FY24. Now, moving from order book to execution this year, we are expecting to do revenues close to last year's revenues. While we had a great expectation from this year because we had a very strong and open order book with all projects firing, fortunately, COVID and monsoon played spoilsport. But even then, we're managing to do as much as we had done last year. Will be a huge success for us in the face of such adversity. Let me also give you some idea about how the sites are looking right now. The manpower is now back to normal and execution pace has picked up. Barring, as soon as monsoon ended, we are now looking at firing on all cylinders. On its part, the government is also making timely payments, which has helped us lower our working capital cycle. Finally, let me talk about our asset monetization plan. We only had 7 HAM projects left without an investor till now. But as we had told in our last call that we are in the final stages of signing with a reputed global firm, the deal is on track and the investor has done its due diligence. We will inform you when the deal concludes. This deal will help in releasing all our invested equity. It will further strengthen our balance sheet, help us reduce debt, and provide us with equity for future investments. Now, on that high note, I would like to hand over the floor to our CFO, Mr. Garg, who will run you through the financials. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohan. Good evening, everyone. I welcome all our partners to our quarter call. This quarter was impacted by lockdown in some part of the country and heavy and extended monsoon in many portions of the country. Amid so many challenges, as Rohan mentioned few of them, the company has performed well and revenue has grown on quarter-to-quarter basis. With this, let me present the results for the Q2 of FY21. Our revenue increased by 6.5% in Q2 on YOY basis and also increased 2% on Q1Q basis. This is basically because we had a very good executable order book. This revenue growth would have been higher if there would not have been lockdown in some part of the country and rainfall would have been lower. However, revenue has decreased by 7% in first half of the financial year, mainly due to subdued Q1 on account of extended closure on account of COVID. EBITDA decreased by is about 4% in Q2, mainly due to under recovery of our fixed overheads. EBITDA decrease is 17% in the first half on account of under recovery of fixed overheads, mainly in Q1, and lower revenue as against the expectation in Q2. Profit after tax decreased by 24% in Q2 on account of decrease in EBITDA and increase in tax. However, a good thing is that we could reduce our finance cost, which is decreased in Q2 vis-a-vis Q1 as well as Q2 of FY20. Tax expense increased as claim for deduction under 80IA is no longer available to us. Profit after tax decreased by 56% on H1 due to decrease in EBITDA and increase in tax. Now let me take you through standalone balance sheet. Expenditure on fixed asset is about 48 crore in Q2 and 142 crore in the first half of the financial year. Marginal increase in inventory due to lower operation level than expected. Decrease in debtors as on 30 September 20 vis-a-vis 30th June 20 on account of better collection. We could improve our cash flow because of this. However, debtors have increased vis-a-vis 31st March 2020 due to marginal delay in some collection those days. Increase in loans given is mainly on account of loans to SPV, which are created for HAM projects. Decrease in current assets is mainly due to decrease in advance to suppliers and retention money. This brought me to net debt equity ratio to 0.9 in Q2 of FY21 from 0.92 in Q1. Basically, to some extent, we could improve our working capital cycle. Decrease in non-current liabilities on account of decrease in non-current portion of mobilization advance. Increase in other financial liabilities is on account of increase in current maturity of long-term borrowings. Increase in other current liabilities on account of increase in current portion of mobilization advance. Now I will take you through some other financial numbers. The cash generated from operating activities is positive at 281 crore in Q2 as compared to negative 200 crore in Q1. This is on account of better working capital cycle. Working capital days have decreased to 101 days as on 30th September 2020 from 114 days as on 30th June 2020 on account of better collection from debtors and better negotiation with our suppliers. As you know, as informed in the earlier calls also, our effective tax rate for this financial year is on full tax rate basis. The tax incidence in first half is 33.25%. Effective rate for 2021 will be in the range of 32 to 35%. Mainly because we are going to, and this is under the old tax regime. Now we can open the floor for question and answer. You're all welcome, invited to ask questions, and we are here to respond. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The first question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from DAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir, and thanks for the opportunity. Sir, I have two questions, sir. Firstly, we have won a very large order in the H1. Is it possible to know on an average? Can you tell us when do you expect the order execution on all these HAM portfolio and Bhadbut Barrage and the Rail Vikas Nigam? When do you expect you to start? No, execution, yeah.
मोहित जी, इसमें
ब्रॉड टाइम
मैं आपको डिटेल बता रहा हूँ. इसमें हमारे 3 ईपीसी प्रोजेक्ट हम लोगों ने विन किए थे. इसमें भदबुत बैराज का ऑलरेडी हमारा कमिटमेंट डेट 15 अक्टूबर को आ चुका है. द प्रोजेक्ट इज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड. वन इज द आरवीएनएल टनल दैट इज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड ऑन 28 सितंबर. एंड थर्ड प्रोजेक्ट इज द साहिबगंज बाईपास, जिसकी अभी 4 दिन पहले अपॉइंटेड डेट आके वो भी शुरू हो गया है. इसके अलावा हमारे 5 हैम प्रोजेक्ट है. उसमें वन इज द पथरापल्ली कटघोरा. कटघोरा पथरापल्ली अपॉइंटेड डेट इज एक्सपेक्टेड इन द दिसंबर. एंड इसके बाद वन इज द Dobaspet and second is the Repalwada, expected in January or February. And fourth HAM is Narayanpur Purnia in March, and the last is the Dhurol Vadrak in April month. Is the expected dates.
और सर ये आपने सर गाइडेंस दिया नहीं था स्टार्टिंग में इस ईयर के. सर आप क्या गाइडेंस दे सकते हैं सर, क्या FY21 के लिए रेवेन्यू ऑर्डर?
वन ने ऑलरेडी बोला था कि ऑलमोस्ट हम लोग लास्ट ईयर के रेवेन्यू के बराबर रेवेन्यू इस बार आराम से कर पाएंगे. और प्रिसाइजली अगर आप देखेंगे तो थर्ड क्वार्टर के नजदीक पहुंच के हम और प्रिसाइज गाइडेंस दे पाएंगे. लेकिन राइट नाउ अभी ये कंफर्म है कि लास्ट ईयर के रेवेन्यू के ऑलमोस्ट बराबर हम रेवेन्यू इस साल के एंड तक कर पाएंगे.
और इन जनरल सर लेबर अवेलेबिलिटी सर साइट पे कैसे हैं सर कंपेयर टू लेट्स से June, July, and how it has improved over last 3 to 4 months? नवंबर में कैसा है?
लेबर मैन पावर एंड अवेलेबिलिटी फुलफिल हो गई है पूरी. 100% लेबर मैन पावर सब अवेलेबल है प्रोजेक्ट्स में.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi sir, first of all congrats on relatively much better performance. First question is sir, Rohan ji said that we are targeting another 3 to 4,000 crore of order inflow in the remaining part of this year. So there any sense in terms of the now the in terms of the NHAI large order has to be still awarded as per what then? So are we only looking at road or any other sector that we are also looking like the way we have entered into the water related? There are we expecting anything or entirely would be road? And top that also, are we looking only right now EPC or even the HAM also, as we are going to finalize the deal for remaining 7 HAM projects?
श्रवण जी, वी आर लुकिंग इन आवर ऑल सेक्टर, जो 7-8 सेक्टर जिसमें हम लोग काम करते हैं. इवन वी आर वर्किंग इन कोल सेक्टर, मेट्रो, स्पेशल टेक्निक ब्रिज, टनल, इन सभी में हम लोग ऑर्डर देख रहे हैं. और हैम और ईपीसी दोनों में ऑर्डर देख रहे हैं. तो इज ऑल विल द मिक्स फ्रॉम ईच सेक्टर.
But now as we come closer to the finalization of the deal for the remaining HAM projects, so can we take a much higher HAM projects maybe in February, March, if that would be the normal scenario when the large order inflow is awarded?
अभी उस कंपनी में जो परसेंटेज आप देखोगे तो 60-40% का मोटा मोटा हम लोगों का ऑर्डर बुक का रेशियो होता है. वही उसी ऑर्डर में रेशियो रहेगा.
ओके. Second sir, अभी अपना margin relatively no doubt because of the COVID also is affecting, but relatively margin now has came to 16%. So दो चीज था, just wanted to understand, can we come back to the normal 17-18% level in the second half? Secondly, are we expecting any early completion bonus in third and fourth quarter?
सर इस ईयर का गाइडेंस की अगर हम बात करें तो बिकॉज इसके साथ चैलेंजेस आए हैं बट ये जो रेंज है 20% का ये अभी के लिए वी थिंक कि दैट शुड नॉट बी अ प्रॉब्लम बट अभी इट बी अर्ली टू से कि और कैसा क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट आएगा नहीं आएगा इट स्टिल बी ऑनेस्ट एंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ बोनस का इन नेक्स्ट क्वार्टर में हमारे जो आएंगे प्रोजेक्ट तो कुछ कंप्लीट हो रहे हैं उनमें बोनस की सिचुएशन as it comes, you will get to know. But there are some projects that we're expecting to finish in quarter 3 and quarter 4.
Oh, and on the capex front, I think in the first half we have already done close to 142 crores. I think we were previously saying that it depends on the order inflow. We were looking at only 100 crores. So now in the second half, how much more are we looking at in maybe possible in the next year? Now already we know this much order inflow we have already won. So next year, broader any idea in terms of the capex?
ऑलमोस्ट इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर के लिए जो हम लोगों ने गाइडेंस दिया था अराउंड 200 करोड़ का दिया था तो दैट स्टिल वी आर ऑन सेम गाइडेंस नॉट मोर देन दैट
Okay, and broadly in terms of the working capital and date, our thought is to keep on reducing. So are we on that track in terms of the working capital? Whatever days, 101 days are there? Can we see the by year and also in the similar working capital days?
Shravan ji, our efforts are at bringing down to the close to 90 days at the end of the year, and this is the I think we will achieve this.
So then, in terms of the date level also, we can see further reduction from this level also.
Yeah, we are trying our level best to again bring it to the March 20 level.
Okay. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parikshit Kandpal from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, Devendra ji. Congratulations on good set of numbers, sir. Sir, मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि अभी ट्यूब का जो 5 projects, so we have not completed, but I think you are projecting about 450 crores in FY22 and about 2 years after that about 240 crores. तो इसमें से काफ़ी पैसा आ जाएगा, तो इससे close to 680 or 700 crores आ जाएगा आपका. तो इसमें से you will be able to meet your new 5 HAM projects and plus your pending requirement of the existing HAM project. So then the next set of 7 projects, roughly about 1,000 crores of equity. So what are the timelines when you are expecting this this inflow to come in? The next 7 HAM assets. अभी we are saying deal तो close हो जाएगी, but अगर इस साल होती तो पैसा कितने टाइम में आएगा and what will you intend to do with that money? Because that can give you a significant leverage to reduce your debt.
Yeah, Parikshit ji, ऐसा है कि like the 7 projects for which we are into the discussion with the investor. So as you rightly said, the deal will be getting close, but again the consideration will be linked to the COD of each of the projects, and the projects are at various stages because the appointed dates for each of the projects were received at different times. So as and when the CODs are taking place, so typically the consideration, if I would like to share with you, it will be staggered on an year-on-year basis till FY24. Okay, 24 and 25. So on an average, you can assume the number could be approximately 500 to 600 crores. So that could be realized on a year-on-year basis against the sale of assets.
So 700 to the keep आ जाएगा. बाकी 1,000 crores जो बचता है equity balance 7 assets में, so roughly about, even if I assume as of now, just very conservatively one time, so 700 plus 1,000, so roughly about 1,700-1,800 crores will come over till FY24. मतलब from FY22 onwards till FY24. हर साल 500-600 crore के आसपास आना चाहिए आपको.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, and that should relieve a lot of significant pressure on your debt levels. I mean, despite your new orders and working capital investments in that, so that should provide growth capital for your EPC business without putting too much stress on the balance sheet, right?
Yes. That is the reason, like, we are not seeking any kind of enhancements also in our working capital debt. So for the last 2 years, we have not asked any kind of enhancement in the fund-based limits also.
So on the debt guidance again, अभी तो वापस debt 3,300 हो गई है, तो for year end and for the year after that, so how do we look at the peak debt levels? Is it already we are at peak levels, or how? I'm talking about absolute debt.
So it is already at the peak level. So now, like as Devendra also had mentioned, the debt level will come down, and we are targeting by the end of this financial year, we will be at par with what we had at 31st March 2020.
But sir, वहाँ से sustainably reduce करना, that is what will be the interesting part, because वो तो हर साल पे उतना आ जाता है, so then again in between the year.
This year was this was an exception because there was unprecedented challenge because of this COVID. So
Right.
we had to resort to some this COVID-19 emergency line of credit. So because of this was the interim increase. But this debt, as you know, again this will be getting repaid over 18 months of time, and we do not envisage any additional borrowing. And similarly, as I told you, the fund-based limits also, so those are adequate enough with the company. So I think with the consideration money also flowing in the next 3 to 4 years, the plan that we have, so that will definitely help the company to rationalize and basically trim down the debt level.
But जैसे 2-3 साल के लिए तो देखते हैं 10-15% kind of growth, so what kind of debt levels, I mean, can we look at? अभी 3,000, less than 3,000, or is in that range only 2,500-2,600?
So if you look at the near future, so March 21, we will be at the March 20 level, and then we will bring it down. If it would not have been the exceptional year, the reduction would have happened in this year itself. So we are reducing, and our best efforts are there to reduce the debt level in the absolute term as well as in the ratio terms, the equity ratio. So just let's see. We are trying our best.
Okay.
Parikshit ji, this is a very challenging year. तो हमारा फोकस इस वक्त रहेगा टॉप लाइन पूरा अचीव करना है, एंड जो हमारे फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड हैं उनको पूरा एब्जॉर्ब करना है. डेफिनेटली प्रायोरिटी इज टू रिड्यूस द डेट, बट at this point of time it is difficult to say, but definitely all our efforts are in reducing.
Yeah, the only thing is, sir, I mean, talking to Devendra ji also, is that some of the competitors, I mean, though we have been very good in execution, we have been doing projects in 1 year, 1.5 years ahead of schedule, but somehow you're not getting it captured in the balance sheet in terms of cash flows and reduction in debt, while some of our competitors are maybe at slightly lower margin, but at very much better place in terms of debt. I mean, they are doing almost at 1/3 or 1/4 level of debt, and they are delivering similar kind of a better ROE with that kind of order book. So my question was only that we are building up the order book, we'll have to invest in working capital, and we are also monetizing on the equity side. So that should, the only thing which looks now in the missing piece is that with these cash flows coming 600 crores every year for next year, that should come down substantially. So this is what I was coming, because now we are taking more of EPC also. So HAM, we have like a large extent we have limited to new HAM projects in this year, and we have added on new EPC projects. So I think looks like that your intent is also to reduce the debt. So I was just trying to cross check or question you on that one.
Yeah. So Parikshit, to answer your question in the summarized manner, okay, we have started our reducing debt from the March 19 to March 20, and we have achieved that target also. And again, we are targeting at the same level, and then we further reduce the debt. Now, answering to your question on the ROE, actually our competitors are at the different business model level, and we are operating at a different business model. And in the last 4-5 years, we were growing at more than 25% CAGR. So for that level, we were requiring the debt now, but we are coming at the normal growth level. So now there will be, of course, reduction in the debt level. So your concern will be met. We will reduce our debt numbers, and ROE numbers also will increase in the future.
And just lastly, sir, if I may, to Devendra ji, so we have taken some really big ticket projects and against one of the very, very big competitor, and there has been concerns that whether we have diluted our margins. So just wanted your view and comfort on these, like the projects which we have taken. So what is the margin levels? Have we anyways diluted our margin thresholds in this new order win?
मार्जिन तो परीक्षित जी हम लोग जो बिड करते हैं इसलिए तो इतने सारे डाइवर्सिफिकेशन किए कि कभी भी मार्जिन पे हिट ना आए. कल अगर कोई रोड में ज़्यादा कंपटीशन आ रहा है तो मूव करके हम लोग टनल में चले जाते हैं, हम लोग मेट्रोज में काम कर रहे हैं, सारे सेक्टर इसीलिए खोले गए हैं कि कहीं ना कहीं ऑर्डर बुक भी स्ट्रेंथनिंग हो, अपने मार्जिन पे भी हिट ना हो, इसलिए तो सारे प्रोजेक्ट काम कर रहे हैं सब जगह।
Okay. Gulf Power project में अपना margin is in line with our historical margins, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you and all the best and happy Diwali to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, operator, I'm done.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rohit Natarajan from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
थैंक यू फॉर दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी। सर मेरा क्वेश्चन एक स्ट्रेटेजिक लेवल का था कि मैं देख रहा हूँ कि सर आपका रोड का जो एक्सपोजर है दैट हैज कम डाउन इन द ऑर्डर बैकलॉग फ्रॉम 87 टू ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 50% ओवर द लास्ट 2 years. Will this ratio be at this level or could it go even further? And second question allied to this is more on your interest in commercial coal mining. If you could elaborate on what exactly the strategy is, how you want to take that particular space ahead.
आपका जो पहला क्वेश्चन है उसका आंसर मैं करता हूँ कि आपने देखा होगा तो कंपनी का बेसिक इंडेवर है डाइवर्सिफाई करना। तो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन में हम लोग जो 4 साल पहले कहीं 90% ऑर्डर बुक हमारी रोड से होती थी, अब वो रिड्यूस होकर अराउंड 45 to 50% है। तो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन बिड इसी तरह हम लोग करते रहेंगे। तो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन में कभी कोई सेक्टर ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, कभी कोई कम हो जाएगा, लेकिन मोर और लेस प्रोपोर्शन यही चलता रहेगा आगे। और कमर्शियल माइनिंग में जो आपने पूछा, कमर्शियल माइनिंग में हम लोगों ने करीब 12-13 प्रोजेक्ट रिव्यू किए थे, लेकिन उसमें से एक बहुत छोटा बिड किया था और अल्टीमेटली उस बिड से भी अभी हम बाहर हो गए। तो दैट कमर्शियल माइनिंग इज द आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन नाउ।
ओके तो स्ट्रेटेजिकली आप कमर्शियल माइनिंग में आगे फोकस नहीं करेंगे, मतलब इट विल लाइक वन ऑफ टाइप हो।
हम लोगों का कोल एक हमेशा से सेक्टर रहा है। पिछले 3-4 साल में हम लोगों ने कोल में काम किया है, ओवरबर्न रिबोल में काम किया है, एक MDO हम लोगों ने जीता था। और इसके बाद लगातार हम कोल के प्रोजेक्ट्स को रिव्यू करते हैं कि जो हमारी कंडीशंस पे और हमारे रेशियोज पे सेट होता है उसमें जाके हम लोग बिड करते हैं। तो अभी ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि हम आगे कमर्शियल माइनिंग को फोकस नहीं करेंगे, हम लोग कोल को और माइनिंग को हमेशा फोकस करते रहते हैं।
ओके सर, कुछ इरिगेशन एंड वाटर के कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स हम सुन रहे हैं, काफ़ी मतलब ट्रैक्शन है, कहीं कहीं हमारे फोकस वो साइड में भी आर वी डूइंग सम वर्क ऑन दैट पार्ट एज वेल?
ऑलरेडी वाटर सप्लाई और इरिगेशन के प्रोजेक्ट हम कर रहे हैं। इवन हम कंट्री का बहुत बड़ा डैम जो भदबुद डैम है अराउंड 4100 करोड़ का, वो हम लोग बना रहे हैं। इसके अलावा हम लोगों ने पास्ट में भी एक मर्दानपुर वाटर सप्लाई मध्य प्रदेश जल विकास निगम का एक प्रोजेक्ट किया था। तो ऑलरेडी हम लोग उस तरह के प्रोजेक्ट हम बिड देखते हैं, लेकिन उसमें पर्टिकुलर हम लोग स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के ये प्रोजेक्ट होते हैं तो बहुत ज़्यादा हम लोग फोकस नहीं करते, क्योंकि वहाँ फंडिंग की कोई अगर प्रॉब्लम है कुछ है तो उसका एक पूरा हम लोग फंडिंग मैनेजमेंट देखते हैं कि किसी ने कहीं ADB से फंडेड है या नाबार्ड से फंडिंग है, तो ही हम लोग उसमें बिड करते हैं।
सर फाइनली ऑन द जो भी आजकल के जो फाइनेंशियल क्लोजर्स हो रहे हैं, खास करके जो प्रोजेक्ट्स इवन इफ द वंस वेयर यू डू रीफाइनेंसिंग, व्हाट इज द रेट एट विच द लोन्स आर गेटिंग क्लोज्ड एट? दिस मोर इन लाइन विथ हैम प्रोजेक्ट्स में खास करके बैंक रेट प्लस 300 बेसिस पॉइंट इज नॉट कमिंग, इज नॉट वर्किंग इन फेवर। तो वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आप कौन से रेट में क्लोज कर रहे हो?
See, ऐसा है कि like whatever the financial closures are happening today, so the rate, the pricing band is somewhere between 8.5% to 8.75%. So that is during the construction phase, and obviously once the asset is getting completed, then the assets are getting refinanced in the range of 7.25% to 8%. Because immediately upon the completion, there is a elevation in the ratings of the HAM project. So this is the market as of now.
Sure, sir. That's it from my side. Should there be any questions, I'll get back into you. Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Vibhor Singhal from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for taking my question. Sir, मेरा क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा in the sense long term data dating है. So what I wanted to see, sir, DILIP Buildcon as a company, we have always focused on increasing mechanization. हम लोग in the basically ज़्यादा मशीनरी का यूज़ करते हैं, that is why our margins have also been industry leading. पर अभी कोविड की वजह से I would say हमारी भी नहीं और पूरी इंडस्ट्री की जो लेबर पे डिपेंडेंस थी उसकी वजह से आई थिंक फर्स्ट क्वार्टर और सेकंड क्वार्टर में हम सबका एग्जीक्यूशन काफ़ी कम रहा। अभी भी जब लेबर वापस आया तो आई एम श्योर देर आर दो सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग नॉर्म्स और आपको सैनिटाइजर्स और वो सब यूज़ करने पड़ रहे होंगे, वो अफकोर्स टेम्पररी हैं, बट डू यू थिंक कि ये कोविड पैंडेमिक की वजह से ना सिर्फ हमारी बट इंडस्ट्री में ओवरऑल एक सॉर्ट ऑफ मैकेनाइजेशन का एक बूस्ट आ सकता है कि कंपनीज लेबर के ऊपर अपनी डिपेंडेंस पूरी तरह से ऑफकोर्स नहीं बट थोड़ी सी कम करके ज़्यादा मैकेनाइजेशन की तरफ से जाएं? ऐसा कुछ लगता है कि एक सेक्टर में एक थोड़ा सा चेंज या पैराडाइम शिफ्ट आ सकता है?
जितना इस इंडस्ट्री में पिछले 5 सालों में जितना मैकेनाइज होना था ना बॉस, वो हो चुका है ऑलरेडी। और ऐसा पैंडेमिक आने के बाद या लेबर कम होने के बाद कोई नई डिजाइनिंग नहीं होनी है। अगर एक ब्रिज पे खड़ा होके उसके ऊपर रेनफोर्समेंट बांधना है, स्टील बांधना है, तो वो लेबर ही चढ़ के बांधने वाली है उसको। तो जितना मैकेनाइज होना था, ये इंडस्ट्री 5 साल में अच्छा खासा मैकेनाइज हो चुका है। इसलिए कोविड के बाद से कोई नया मैकेनिज्म कुछ नहीं होने वाला इसमें। जो लेबर का जरूरत जितना है उतना पड़ता ही है इसमें, इसको काम करने में।
राइट। तो बेसिकली सर, क्या जैसे हम लोग बाकी सेक्टर्स में भी देख रहे थे कि काफ़ी सारी प्रैक्टिसेस हैं जो कि कोविड की वजह से आ रही हैं और कंपनीज बात कर रही हैं कि वो प्रैक्टिसेस अब वो उनको रखेंगे इवन आफ्टर पैंडेमिक। बट जैसा आप बोल रहे हैं कि हमारी इंडस्ट्री में एटलीस्ट मैकेनाइजेशन लेवल पे तो कुछ खास चेंज नहीं आना चाहिए।
यू आर राइट। ऑलरेडी जितना मैकेनाइज होना था ये इंडस्ट्री हो चुकी है। छोटे मोटे चेंजेस होंगे, लोग मीटिंग करने आते थे तो अब वीसी पे ज़्यादा मीटिंग करने लगे हैं। इस तरह के छोटे मोटे चेंजेस होंगे। बाकी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इंडस्ट्री में जहाँ जितना लेबर का मैन पावर का जरूरत होता है उसको रिड्यूस कैसे भी नहीं किया जा सकता इसके आगे।
फेयर इनफ सर। सर लास्टली बस एक स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन था सर। नाउ दैट हम लोग इरिगेशन में और मेट्रो और माइनिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स में जा रहे हैं, माइनिंग ऑफकोर्स हम लोग पहले भी करते आए हैं, बट इन सब प्रोजेक्ट्स की वजह से अगले 12 से 18 महीने में कुछ एडिशनल केपेक्स की जरूरत है या फिर जो हमारा नॉर्मल केपेक्स रूटीन था दैट शुड बी गुड इनफ? हमारे पास इनफ प्लांट मशीनरी है टू टेक ऑन दीज न्यू सेगमेंट ऑर्डर्स ऑल्सो?
तो हमारे पास इनफ प्लांट मशीनरी है। जो हमारे एग्जिस्टिंग इक्विपमेंट है उसमें जो अभी मैंने प्लान बताया था आपको, जिसमें 140 करोड़ हम कर चुके हैं, लगभग 60 करोड़ रुपए और करेंगे, वो उसमें कवर हो जाता है सारा।
कवर हो जाता है और नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए भी कुछ खास ऐसा एडिशनल केपेक्स की जरूरत नहीं होगी हमको डाइवर्सिफिकेशन के लिए? ओके सर, थैंक you so much for taking my questions and thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jiten Rushi from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you and good evening, sir. Sir, I have a few bookkeeping questions. So, sir, I just want numbers for mobilization advances, retention, unbilled revenue, and arbitration, if any, ongoing. What is the status?
So, answer to your question, Jiten, mobilization advance close to 1,300 as on September.
1,300 crores.
Retention money close.
Sorry, 750, sir.
750 crores, yeah.
750,
And
okay.
arbitration there is no right now. And what else you have asked?
Unbilled revenue?
Unbilled revenue is close to 500 crores.
500. Sir, mobilization आपने 1,300 crore बताया, right, sir?
Correct.
And sir, no bonus has been booked this quarter, no bonus.
Yeah, in Q2 there is no bonus. In Q1 there was a bonus of 9.84 crores.
Right. And sir, on the Punjab mining project, so I know because of the hearing. So now what is the status? When is the next hearing and we can expect some execution there?
अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में वो केस पेंडिंग है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अभी रूटीन हियरिंग अभी चालू नहीं की, तो वो ऑलमोस्ट फाइनल स्टेज पे जैसे हियरिंग चालू होगी तो किसी भी टाइम सेटल हो जाएगा।
एंड सर, अभी जैसे अपना न्यू इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट गुजरात में, सो एनी मोबिलाइजेशन एडवांसेस आर एक्सपेक्टेड फॉर दैट एंड एनी बैंक गारंटीज वी हैव टू गिव टू देम और समथिंग? कैन यू प्लीज थ्रो सम लाइट ऑन दैट?
Yes, already we received the mobilization advance for Bharpur Dam.
So that is how much? 10%?
The 10% of the, no, this is the 5% of the project cost. 2 tranches, 2.5 each.
Okay. So basically higher mobilization advance as on September is because of this Gujarat project where we have received the mobilization advance. If I may.
Mobilization in October, not in September.
And one thing, and Jiten, high mobilization advance नहीं है हमारा 1,700 था March 20 में. Now we are close to 1,300. So okay, so this is reducing. So,
1,300 crores as on September, you said, right, sir?
1,300 crore in September and it was 1,700 crore in
Got it.
So there is a reduction by 400 crore.
And sir, can you just highlight on the bank limits, non-fund and fund limit, and what is the utilization level, please?
Generally, Jiten, हम आपको लास्ट टाइम भी बताया था, तो that is the same.
No problem.
Non-fund का जो last call में आंसर दिया था, that is the same thing. We have not increased any limit.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
The next question is a follow-up question from the line of Parikshit Kandpal from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
हाँ देवेंद्र जी, जस्ट एक चीज और पूछनी थी सर, ये स्पीड रेल में हम लोग पहले सोच रहे थे कुछ बिड करेंगे स्ट्रक्चर्स के लिए, तो बट एनी थॉट्स ऑन दैट प्रोजेक्ट नाउ, हम लोग कैसे देख रहे हैं, इज देयर एनी अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर दिलीप बिल्डकॉन देयर?
हाई स्पीड के जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो परीक्षित जी हमने रिव्यू किए थे, लेकिन वो हमारे को प्राइस में और हमारे को लोकेशन वाइज वो बैठ नहीं रहे थे, तो हम लोगों ने उसका बिड नहीं किया। हम लोग कंटिन्यूसली बाकी भी हाई स्पीड के जो अभी भी जो बचे हुए बिड है उनको भी हम लोग इवेल्युएट कर रहे हैं।
Okay. Okay. And this last thing on this 7 ham assets, so you said 3Q में हो जाएगी कि looking more at 4Q deadline now?
Q3 में हो जाएगी वो।
Okay. ठीक है सर, thank you and all the best.
Thank you boss. Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Jiten Rushi for closing comments.
Yeah, thanks. We would like to thank the management for this opportunity. I will now hand over to the management for their closing remarks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone, all our partners, for being on the call and asking all your questions. In case there are more that anybody has, please feel free to reach out to our IR or our team directly, and we'll be happy to answer them. I look forward to seeing you in our next call. Until then, wishing all of you a very happy Diwali to you and your loved ones, and a very happy New Year as well.
Happy Diwali everyone. Happy Diwali sir. Thank you from Axis Capital.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Axis Capital Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.